Let's talk about multi-level marketing, network marketing, and why you should love it. Because if you're anything like me, I've come from a position of it's kind of dirty, it's kind of low vibration, it's kind of manipulative, pyramid selling thing. And this is a connotation that you need to get rid of. Pyramid selling is against the law, and it's a system where people get sucked in at the bottom and they lose, right? They pay money, it goes to people up the pyramid, and you're a loser until you recruit other suckers beneath you who then become the losers and you gain off them. But there's no real product at the end of the day. That is illegal everywhere. Network marketing is not pyramid selling, it's distinctly different. Now, that's not to say, I have to put in this, people do get stung with multi-level marketing companies. It happens a lot. I've spoken to so many people who've got MLM PTSD from having been with a company that's folded or whatever, disappeared from under them. There's all kinds of stuff that can go on. But you don't want to tar every MLM company with the same brush. So, who should love multi-level marketing? Well, you should if you are one of these rebels, a truther. If you've seen through the lies of Big Pharma and Big Food and the National Dietary Guidelines, if you don't believe the mainstream media, you've lost your trust in institutions. MLM gives you a way to build outside of that whole system. Instead of complaining about it and feeling black-pilled about it, gives you an opportunity to take back control. Because what it's doing, although yes, there is a corporation at the center of it, which is essential, and this is, they use the funds that come back to corporate to develop new amazing products, hopefully, okay? But it's not that kind of a pyramid. It's not like Big Pharma, where they use money to develop products that they can sell for the maximum profit and want to keep you dependent, even if they don't work. Now, MLM, here's what I think is the core difference. MLM works best when everybody wins. It works best when the products really work for people and generate wealth in the community, not just for the people at the very top. And I'm not even talking about the pharmaceutical companies with their 1.4 trillion turnover. Who owns the pharmaceutical companies? Well, it's the same people that own the big food companies, BlackRock, Vanguard, etc. If you know, you know. If you are a sovereign entrepreneur spirit and you're done trading your time for money, you should love MLM. Instead of giving 50 years of your life, and it's the best, it's your eight waking hours for 5 days of every week, giving it to the man in return for a wage that starts to evaporate before it's even got into your sweaty little hand. And then what have you got at the end of it, This is for the person with the entrepreneurial spirit. This is fantastic because you've got like a ready-made business available to you. And I guess again, they're on a scale. I'm not going to lie. There's some really, really good ones and some really, really bad ones. And I believe that the one I'm in, from my limited experience, but from having spoken to a lot of people who've got decades and decades in this is not only a fantastic product, but a fantastic business as well. So if you've got a sovereign spirit and you crave sovereignty over your health, your time, your income, and that's really your whole life, because time and health are what life is about. So MLM in this sense is not a sales exercise, right? What I'm doing every day isn't sales. What I love about it is that I'm sharing my truth with you. And this is different to a pharmaceutical sales rep going around. You know that doctors get paid to push drugs, right? You know that they're on, in some cases, sales targets. I know this for a fact, right? That they are compensated by pharmaceutical companies to push drugs that may not even help. Like, in my personal view, statins, right? Keep bringing down the age range. They keep bringing down the safe level of total serum cholesterol, right? It's a scam. It's an absolute scam. So MLM see it as a completely different economy to this one, where the money just gets sucked out of the community and into the coffers of who knows what, who knows where, for who knows what reason. This is a counter economy. It's like the new economy that we need to build, each of us individually, starting now, which will grow out of the ruins of the old economy that's built on bullshit. You can escape the 9 to 5 of the Matrix. You can be your own master and build the new world as we go. So let's talk as well a little bit about where the money goes, because I think this is really central. This is really what I'm feeling right now. So yeah, I am an independent sales representative for Marketplace Global, and I'm really fucking proud of that fact, because it's life-changing. The products are life-changing, but the model is equally life-changing in different ways, and it's available to any of us as long as you're adult. You can step up to this and say yes and take it on for yourself. So where does the money go? Well, the majority of it, in fact, I don't know but my feeling is, yes, it goes to the people who recommend it to you. And that's what I think is one of the brilliant things about it. Because you're buying from people. You're not buying from multi-billion-dollar marketing budgets from soulless, dead corporations. Did you know? Let's talk about Fix, for example. This is the only product I'm talking about right now, because it's just amazing. It was actually invented, dreamed up in the 1940s, and there's a rumour on the street that it literally did come to somebody in a dream, and I would not be surprised that this is some kind of divine revelation. Someone had this idea to extract only the bitter acids from this hops and try drinking it. So in 1953 this process came out, couldn't make it to market. Why? Because it cost $1 million to make a gallon of the stuff. $1 million. Now, what do you pay today what do we pay for this product? Well, I figured it out, and it's between $15,000 and $20,000 a gallon, if you work it out. So that's come down. It's a 50th of what it cost back in the 1950s. Having said that, you have to adjust for inflation as well. So it's probably 100th, 1% of what it originally cost, which is now why it's on the market. And again, that money, some of it will find its way up to Marketplace Global. Absolutely, that's the way it should be, because they pay to develop the products. They pay for the legal, for everything that needs to happen for all of this to work, right? But a lot of that money goes to the representatives, goes to human beings, goes to families, single parents, disabled, older people, veterans, everybody. They're all benefiting. And in doing that, it's like, we say, spend your money with local businesses, not with Amazon for Christmas. Makes a huge difference, because we're keeping our money, which is representative of our literal life force, in the community, in this economy, not their economy. There's somebody else who might be interested in this as well, is if you're in healing, you're kind of purpose driven. So for me, I mean, I'm at a disadvantage here, right? Because I didn't have any serious chronic condition when I started taking Fix. What I didn't realise is how much I was struggling with negative self-talk, struggling to go to sleep at night, struggling to maintain my energy, focus and concentration through the day. I can say that this product has been transformative for me, which is why I keep taking it. I'm taking it twice a day. It's been incredible for me. But again, with MLM, you're hearing this message from somebody who has taken a product and is saying, I am here to tell you that it's changed my life and I want it to change your life. You're not listening to a doctor who says, well, all we can do is prescribe this, and who's getting a kickback from Big Pharma, or a politician who's saying you should follow these guidelines, who are getting kickbacks from wherever. Right? We all know this happens. So the ideal would be for you to try this for yourself. Some people get instant results. Some people it can take 6 to 8 weeks, right? There's no guarantees. We're all different. We've all broken and damaged in different ways, and we will all heal in different ways at different speeds and different times as your body knows what to do. But if you can try it for yourself, experience your own body's healing in its own way, a real transformation, and then boom, then you have the opportunity, and not just keep taking the product, but to share your story, to influence other hearts, other souls. You know, you don't just stay silent. You don't just sit there as a consumer. You can be a business owner in your own right. MLM gives you that structure, right? To share what works for you, if it works for you, to help other people and to be rewarded for that impact. If you've got a problem with that, what can I say? I think this is the future. I've had to, suck it up and admit that it's actually my own kind of inherent distaste for money and wealth, and that's all to do with my own childhood, that had me kind of mistrustful of this. But now I think it's the future. It could be your future. If you want to know more about the product or the business or whatever, just drop me a comment and I will be happy to help. See you later.